what are you willing to sacrifice along the way with that healing? With the healing, right? You got to do the work and still maintain it, right? So what are you willing to sacrifice along the way of your level up journey? Hello, beautiful people. In today's video, we are going to be talking about what are you willing to sacrifice to level up? Before you even think to click off this video, I need you to sit and listen, because God is sending a word through me and I need you to reel it in. Listen. A lot of you guys are not even going to be able to pass down any legacy aside from your trauma, aside from brokenness, aside from distractions. I was just listening to this message from 2819 Church by Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell, and I'll insert the clips a little bit later onto the video. But it got me to thinking, because he mentions, so many of the world, like this generation right now, is only looking to be glorified, self-glorified for likes, for views, for fame, for a title, giving our bodies and sacrificing our bodies, our time and our soul just for a title, just to prove ourselves, sacrificing our mind, sacrificing our energy, being distracted by our devices, being distracted just to create and put out nothing of value. I remember being on Instagram at one point, showing my glutes. I remember twerking. I remember doing the most that is opposite from a mission today. And it just got me to thinking, look at the generation that is broken. Look at the generation that needs more guidance and leadership. And a lot of women are not using themselves as leaders. You want to glow up, and everything that you want in your glow up and your level up journey is all about me. It's so superficial. It's so shallow. We want to be the girls with matching sets. We want to be the girls that has a 10-step skincare routine and the provider man. But we don't want to be the woman that is ready to leave a legacy for the younger generation and your own children. Because I definitely know that there are some generational curses throughout many of our families that need to be broken, and it could be starting with you. I remember my grandma just talking to me on FaceTime, and she's just praying, Shen, I need you to win as many souls for God as possible. And I'm so proud to see who you've become over the years. I'm proud of you just taking care of me and wanting to be in my presence, spending every moment with her as I was in Toronto. And she witnessed how I spoke to my clients. She even prayed for my clients as well. And I just think about, I'm such an empath, and I look at women and I see when they're broken, and I see when they were neglected, and I just feel their pain because I've been there. Everything I talk about on my channel, I say it because I've been there. I know the feeling of brokenness and emptiness and shame. And you know what? When I had my breakup 6 years ago, I promised God, if you build me up, if you just help me, I promise I will dedicate my life to a mission. And my mission stands strong today. I never took my eyes off that mission. And I'm so glad that in my broken seasons, God was building me. And even though I was upset in the moment, I was like, there's a breakup and my dad's death going on. I'm in a city that I don't know anyone really. A friend took me in and just taught me grace and love and compassion. And that was all God, because God is a God of compassion and grace and forgiveness and love. And he knows the journey that you're on, and he has given you such a purpose. But, somewhere along the lines with being in this world and our fleshly desires have brought us to being distracted of that purpose. So many of you guys don't even know your purpose because you're busy scrolling or procrastinating or sleeping in past 10, actually sleeping in past 8. You're entertaining toxicity, you're entertaining toxic men, toxic friends, gossip, all of this negative emotion and trauma that you're only passing that down to your children, right? I get it. We all need healing. Yes. But what are you willing to sacrifice along the way with that healing? With the healing, right? You got to do the work and still maintain it, right? So what are you willing to sacrifice along the way of your level up journey, along the way of changing so many lives? Now, here's where I really want the message to be clear. So many of you guys want to start YouTube channels, right? So many of you guys want to be that influencer. You want to be on TikTok. Send this video to absolutely everybody you know. You want to be on TikTok. You want to be on all these platforms. You want to be a YouTube creator. What is your mission when you start these things?
You couldn't lie about anything you did because your life testified against you. Hand in hand, action for action, deed for deed. There was no grace given because it was already given. And so while God will speak to the people, you can hear and see what they did. All the issues that they did, everybody could hear it. So imagine the people who are in front, who's getting judged by the Lord, were going to hell for something you dealt with, you never repented for. And you had to wait in line, wait your turn, knowing there was no grace given for them.
Oh my gosh.
You could literally hear details. The crazy thing about it was, I remember this specific woman. Now, keep in mind, the crazy thing was, because our gift was on trial too. Everything we did in our life was on trial. In the line, I could still see. There was a woman in front of me, that was a little bit in front of me. She had blonde hair. When I saw her soul, I immediately went to a vision. She was a woman who was a white lady who had blonde hair. And she had really long blonde hair. And when I saw her, I kept seeing social media. She was a social media influencer. When her time came forth, the Lord he spoke to her. He said, I'm not judging you for what you posted on Facebook. I'm judging you based off how everyone else received it. And you could tell the anger. He said, depart from me. And when he spoke, it was like everything around him shook, like there was a great wind. His anger cannot be handled. His anger can only be experienced and expressed. There's no control. Humans can't handle the anger of God. A man who angers a God forfeits his life. To be in the presence of God and to experience his anger is to find a coffin and lay in it. So because I imagine what she did on social media was so bad, and based off how I saw it in the vision, it has something to do with lust and perversion, to the point of where it became a snare to all the watchers, to the point where it was so heavy for them that a lot of them walked away from the faith to pursue their own personal desires. And it was because of the seed of what she put out that drew a massive crowd away. And because this blood was on her hands, the Lord dealt with her based off of that blood. And so now his anger was not kindled only for her, but the souls he really wanted.
Oh my gosh.
So just imagine if the shepherd, he would leave the 99 to go after the one. The one soul that wandered away from the faith and the truth, God is concerned. That's why when one soul is won, the angels in the whole heaven rejoice. So for her and it was over 300,000 people. There was a massive amount of people that walked away, which told me that she had massive influence. It was just no person who just attempted to try. She had somebody's eyes and she had some people's ears. And what she posted, drew them away. And he was so angry that when he sent her to hell, it was with such great force that made me feel like there were different layers of hell, because where she sent, it wasn't as much force as the other ones. Wherever she was going, Lord have mercy, because it's deep. And so he sent her, he said, depart from me. And there was a portal. The portal of hell was so aggressive. It will boom, you can shake it. The stones of fire snatch people in. There was no hand that grabbed her. It flew. Portal closed. Her scream was late. It would terrify. It would terrify us just watching it over and over. It was like a trauma that never ended. And so now the line moving up. I'm not seeing nobody go to heaven. I'm not seeing nobody go to heaven. It worried me, because I'm like, Lord, surely that's 1, that's 5, there's 10, there's 50, there's 100. Come on, Lord. Everybody can't be going to hell, please. Lord Jesus, there's just no way. Back to back. 1,000 among 1,000 in front of me. The light is already getting to me now. Have you seen one?
See one.
Did I see one?
What is your mission? Is it just for likes? Is it just to be validated? Is it just to get some free products or to promote brands? What is your mission? You can clearly see my mission in every single video, that I share, in my transformation of absolutely everywhere, whether it's online or in person. I'm doing the work. Heck, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm saying I'm vulnerable enough to share my struggles. I'm vulnerable enough to share things I've been ashamed of. I'm vulnerable enough to lay my life on the platform and change more lives. How many lives can I heal? How many women can I open their eyes and push them for greatness? That is my mission. It's clear as day, right? I've got all these reviews about my services and how I fuel people. And it doesn't matter how I feel every single day. It doesn't matter how I feel. The mission is greater than my mood, my emotions, and you've guys gotten consistent content from me. And it comes straight from God. All right, maybe sometimes I've had my own points, but I always ask God, speak through me, use me as a vessel. I'm hungry to be changed. Weaken my flesh, weaken my flesh, weaken my flesh. Through weakening my flesh, I gave up alcohol. Okay, through weakening my flesh, I gave up cannabis. I gave up going out late. I gave up so many date nights to maybe one date night a week because I wanted to be in shape. I gave up a lot. I gave up toxic energy. I'm willing to give up anything to serve the mission. And I know I still have more to work on. I know I still have more to work on. And I ask God to weaken me along the way as I fill you up and show you the transformation as we change. What are you willing to sacrifice because you want, to be on this platform? Do you really just want to be on these platforms because you can get free things, or because you can say, I have this many followings, or because you need an extra paycheck because you're struggling to pay your bills? What is your mission? Because your purpose and mission has to be greater than these superficial things. It has to be greater than status, than a title. And that is why so many people have failed. That's why so many people truly lose themselves. They burn out because you're chasing the external validation that does not come from God. You know what comes from God? Blessings. Blessings come from God when you are willing and ready to serve on a mission where He has placed you here to be kind, to be graceful, to be loving, to expand into generations. And a lot of you guys are expanding pain, laziness, bad habits into generations, being selfish because you don't want to stay the course to the change. Y'all, I don't even know what has come about in my spirit to talk to you, but I'm speaking to someone who doesn't know their purpose. I am speaking to someone who is figuring out what they want to post online. What is your legacy? What do you want to leave behind? If you are posting right now on social media, you got children, they are going to see everything you put online. Are they going to be proud of you? Are your grandchildren going to be proud of you, of what you put out into the world and how you came about to serve? Are you serving, or are you just showing up selfishly? I got a really nice body, okay? I got a really nice body. I'm aware of it. And I was using it the wrong way, with no purpose, with no mission, just glorifying myself and looking for validation. And I want you to know that I have to ask God to weaken my flesh, because that no longer serves the version that God has called me to be, and maybe you as well. And so I ask you today, would your children be proud? Would your higher self be proud? If you truly want to go to heaven, are you making the changes that are necessary? The effort, because we're not going to be perfect. My flesh is tested every single day. However, when I said, no, I'm not doing this, it's now a no, right? And there's more that I still have to get rid of. But God is using me, and I want Him to, because I see the pain, I see the hunger, I see all of what the world is going through. This generation that feels lonely, neglected, needs to do this for money, sell their soul, give their bodies. And how many men are you going to give your body to? At one point in my life, I said, I don't care if I'm in a healthy relationship. I had to take sex off the table. Unless you're married to me, you're vowed to me, I'm vowed to you. This is where I'm at. And I want to give God, a body back that I know I put in work to really weaken my flesh. So my soul, when I give my body to him, he can see that I was trying my best to win as many souls along with mine for the right mission. And so I say this to y'all, like when you want to be on these platforms, right? What do you want to post about? All right, all this nonsense, all this chaos, all this drama, all this gossip, like ranting about your husbands or your people, ranting about people you say you love, entertaining all of these gossip shows and channels and all these dramatic housewives and bad girls club and all of these and secular music. Now listen, I'm not judging anyone, because that was me in 2023 and a little bit of 2024. But I'm saying that I really had to sacrifice and start listening to better things to gain more wisdom. Are you gaining more wisdom? Are you gaining more wisdom? Do you feel like at the end of the day, oh, I'm getting smarter? And wisdom comes from God, but it also comes from studying and absorbing the right things, being around the right people. Now, I want to ask y'all, what are you passing down to your children? What are you passing down to your children? Because a lot of you guys have no money to pass down to your children, no assets to pass down to your children, nothing but your drama, your pain, and all of the moments you decided you wanted to stay distracted, you wanted to procrastinate, you wanted to be shy and fearful instead of showing up on the internet that could change your life, but change other lives, including your own generation, your future generation, right? And what are you going to pass down to your children? I ask you today to understand your mission, to sit with yourself and analyze your behaviors, your patterns, the triggers. What are you willing to sacrifice today because you want something greater out of life, because you want to feel fulfilled and whole and loved? I sat with my man. I asked him what I've asked many men, okay, looking for validation. I said, what do you really like about me? Expecting his response to be what I've heard from most men. And I'm sure you've seen it, okay? My body. I was expecting him to say, I'm in love with your body, and that is why I'm with you. He said, no, I like your mind. I'm in love with your mind and your character, but your mind is so strong. And let me tell you, this was probably in 2022, 2023. I was actually hurt. I was like, so you don't think I'm hot? You don't think I'm that girl? And now I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, God really placed an amazing man in my life. God really placed an amazing man in my life that is patient with my boundaries. Patient with my boundaries, God. Thank you. And I get to blossom and I get to serve my purpose naturally because that man lets me be me every single day. I don't force him. I wouldn't be with anybody who was holding me back. That's for one. I would not be with anyone who was energy was lower than mine. I mean, my man's energy is calmer than mine, but he gets the assignment. He understands what mission I'm on. And when I first met him, I told him, I will always put my mission above everything. How many souls I get to heal and change and show women that they are beautiful and that they don't need validation. How many women I get to pour into, every single one of you guys. I am so grateful for. I am so thankful for. I am so passionate to be a part of your transformation. I need you to understand, like, what is your mission? Because I know I've been in seasons where I felt unfulfilled, when I've had a lot of people around me and I still felt lonely. I've been in relationships before and I still felt alone and I had no one to talk to. Growing up as a child, feeling neglected and no one to talk to or rely on. I know that you have emotions where you feel like you can't handle these emotions alone. That is why God is here. But also, how can you use your pain as fuel to change more lives? What do you want to put on the internet? Because a good body is a good body, But at the same time, your mind should be stronger than your appearance. It should be stronger than the matcha lattes and the Red Bulls and all of these energy drinks that you're relying on. So many people are walking around so cloudy, so shallow, so weak, so fragile. So like the whole world, okay, most of the world and the generation is just so fragile. You give them you give them some criticism or some feedback and they're immediately crying because they can't take it. Everyone's so soft. No one has a backbone. No one can take criticism or feedback for growth, for power, for strength, because you have no mission. You can't handle it. I remember when one of my mentors was like, once you get rid of your caterpillar lashes, game over. Here I am, like 4 years later, finally with no lashes on. It's not about the outside aesthetics, babe. A lot of you guys are judging people based on their outside aesthetics. You're wanting men, you're craving men out of lustful desires, or because you're lonely and your time is running out. This is why you're choosing men that aren't really choosing you. And the red flags are there. You haven't checked their heart posture. You haven't checked their character. You don't know their mission. You may not even know yours. You may not even be aware of your own character and things that you need to work on to heal so that you are a softer, powerful, feminine woman, a wife that a man will find and change for naturally. Authentic self. When God made you enough, but you still don't realize that you are enough, you still don't believe that you are here for a purpose, you still act so timid, so softly, so scared, when God just wants you to be who you are, and the right people will gravitate to your soul because it's that strong. I speak with conviction because I believe in the higher power. I believe that I've found my purpose. I believe in my mission. A lot of you guys want to start these channels. You don't even believe or live up to what comes out of your mouth, right? You give a few advice, tips, you give this tips, and you're overanalyzing, overthinking in your mind. Say it. If God gave you a message, say it. If God wants you to be bold, be it, because that is what he wants his children to be. He didn't want any of his soldiers to be shy and timid. The spirit that God gives you, the wisdom that God gives you, he wants you to be rare. He wants you to be a leader. He wants you to stand up and change lives and have that mission so much greater than your fleshly desires. And y'all, we're all chasing something that has no purpose, no meaning, no mission to it. Y'all out here single, you're looking for a man, chase God. Chase how pure your heart can become. Weaken your flesh. Ask for healing. Ask for wisdom. Ask for God to put you in the right rooms where God can place you where your husband is. Stop living of your fleshly needs because you're desperate. When you're desperate and you're chasing, you only find yourself settling for the bare minimum. I had one client that was like, I'm good looking, but the guys don't want me, and I want everything now. With my exes, I thought I would be a baby mother. I thought I would be a wife already. I thought I would have had a white picket fence with those men. Yeah? And then when God broke me to redirect my path, I had no idea he's been building me since the day I was formed in my mother's womb. And when that pain and so many obstacles and adversity has hit me, God was still faithful to his promise to build you up and to create a life for you that is so fulfilling and so rewarding, and your mission is greater than a man. But you know what? When we are so desperate, we choose what looks good. We choose what sounds good. We fall in love instantly, or in a week, or in a year. And instantly, we're just picking narcissists. We're picking lazy men. We're picking men that can't provide. We're picking men that have sexual addictions outside of a relationship or a marriage. We're picking what God didn't pick for us. So God, thank you for this word. I want you to slow down. You got to slow down and let God do his magic to open up the seas of your life. You know what I mean? You cannot want everything right away. A lot of you guys give up on the love. that you desire. A lot of you guys give up on your fitness goals. You give up on eating well. You give up on yourself. You let yourself go because you are looking for instant gratification. Oh, I don't see my body changing in a week, so I'm just going to go back to my bad habits. I don't see that there's any good men left, so I'm just going to pick that one, sleep with him, and then all of a sudden you have an STD or HIV. And God didn't pick these walking zombies for you. You pick them. How about you chill for a second and ask God to guide your life. Ask God to guide your life, guide your path, strengthen your path. You know what? It's not too late, guys. It's not too late. But if you want to make a if you want to make a faith board, like, this is beautiful. You know, I've got a few quotes on here, but I have a lot of Bible scriptures, and it's so beautiful. This is the second faith board that I made, and the other one, the first one I actually made last year when I started my channel, and I left it in Toronto in my bedroom because I want it everywhere with me. And I don't look at this enough, but it's just to have faith. Everything is always working out for me. God guides my step. God has a vision for me. She was the type of woman you had to take in small doses because her aura was addictive. If God is all you have all you need. John 14:8. Be obsessed or be average. I also read that book this year by Grant Cardone. Fear is what if. Faith is even if. Don't let anyone work harder than you do. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. Proverbs 16:3. With God, all things are possible. Matthew 19:26. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, all your strength. Mark 12:30. Don't worry about anything, and instead pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything you can ever understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:6-7. Y'all, God has already handled what you are worrying about. Jeremiah 29:11. Yo! God knows the plans that he has for each and every one of you. And he wants you to tap in to your purpose and make your mission clear. If you had to build a website today, or maybe you have a website, what is your mission statement? Like, what are you trying to do aside from sell a product and make money? What are you trying to do instead of making a video just to be famous or go viral? What are you trying to do? Okay? Because when you do it the right way and you don't have to sell your soul or your body, you will reap the benefits of how many lives you get to change for the goodness, for the good reasons. So I really hope you guys found this video so informative today. I'm actually filming on my 13 Pro Max because my 14 Pro Max is dying and I put it to charge, and usually I film on that, and I was like, you know what, this is not gonna stop me from the message. No matter how I feel, if I have a message, God, use me. Use me. I don't need to be a flashy girl. I don't need to be a this kind of girl or that kind of girl. I got a message every single time I'm gonna show up. I want God to use me, even speak through my voice, and also change my actions. So bit by bit, I become a better leader. I'm not perfect. I'll never be perfect. But I know that there are ways and habits and characteristics in me that I want to be broken. I want my flesh to be weakened and me to lessen of this world. So God could truly use me for the bigger plans that he has. And I just say this to all my women, like, you do not have to be perfect when you come to God. And trust me, like, you just got to look at your life one day and be like, I'm not helping my children, my attitudes, my behaviors, what I've been settling with. When I tell you I've been so broken and broke, but broken, it's nothing but God that has removed that from my life. So the trajectory could go upwards. And trust me, there's going to be obstacles and battles to fight. But what you don't realize, right, especially if you're working out, you can't be afraid of the pain, of the struggles, and the hustle. You can't be afraid of those things. That's what builds you for tough times. The world, as you see, will only get tougher. It will only get harder and evil. And girl, you got to get stronger. You got to get stronger. And your mission has always got to stay greater than the pain, than the obstacles, and the challenge, and the mood, than the emotions. Those moments where you don't want to show up. Yeah, your mission has to be greater. So I really hope that all of y'all enjoyed this video, whether you enjoyed it or not. This was a message. Share this video. Comment some love. Comment your thoughts down below. This is a safe space. I welcome you and I thank you all for your love, for your support, for your kindness, for your grace, for your compassion over my life and my journey since I've been on YouTube. 2024, 2025, I've made that promise, God. I will change. I want to change. And I admit it. I say this boldly, live, okay? Live on TV. And I just thank you guys so much for who you are and who you are becoming. What are you willing to sacrifice today in order to level up and reap God's rewards for your life? I love you guys.
You're listening when people are talking all around you, and if you listen carefully to their talk, you'll start hearing what's in their heart. Start listening to some of these preachers, you will hear what's in their heart. You start listening to some of these people on Instagram, you start hearing what's in their heart. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so the Lord here sees their question. And from the abundance of the heart, we see in the text that these men are full of unhealthy ambitions. They're full of a desire for glory. They want to be seen. They just like you and I, man. Everybody got to be an influencer. Everybody got to have a ministry. Everybody got to have their name in lights. Everybody got to be on a platform. Everybody has to be on a mic. I mean, thank God for social media, but one part of it I hate is that it's given mic. It created a platform for fools to have a voice. For some of us, we nibble on it, and for some of us, man, we gorge ourselves with it. It's desire for this inflated exaggeration of yourself. You want to feel more important than what you really are. So watch. So you post only for the sake of going viral. And if you don't get enough likes, you take it down and you turn your angle just so you can get a little bit more likes on the next post. And what you're really doing is what? You're trying to massage the insecurities of your heart by hoping enough people will like your post, because what you're trying to stroke is your desire for exaggerated importance. So we are addicted to approval. We are addicted to likes. We are addicted to praise. We love that stuff because what we really itching is that broken part of us that want to feel more important than what we really are. We want to feel important. We want status. We want people to love us and to like us. That's why you crumble as soon as somebody critiques something you have to say. You find your self-worth in your title. You find your self-worth in positions. God forbid you lose your job, then you lose your whole identity. You're so title-driven that something shifts in that title, or you lose your job, or you're no longer an athlete. You lose your whole identity because you find importance in all of these intangible things, but not in Christ. I mean, these disciples are Jews. These disciples have the Old Testament. These disciples know that according to the Old Testament, a kingdom was coming, and in their mind, the kingdom would be a military kingdom. Watch this. That the Lord would overthrow the occupation of Rome, and in the overthrow of the occupation of Rome, I mean, he gonna flex on all of Rome. And when the Lord flexes on all of Rome, the only thing they're thinking about is what seat am I gonna have at the table?